Imagine this. One minute you're walking down a sunny street, the next, a wall of water is thundering towards you. This isn't a scene from a disaster movie. This is the terrifying reality of a flash flood. It's nature's raw power, unleashed in an instant, transforming familiar landscapes into raging, chaotic rivers. What makes flash floods so uniquely dangerous? It's their speed. Unlike river floods that build over days, flash floods can occur in minutes, often with little to no warning. They're typically caused by intense rainfall from slow-moving thunderstorms, hurricanes, or tropical storms. But it's not just about the rain. The ground itself plays a crucial role. In urban areas, concrete and asphalt prevent water from soaking into the soil. In hilly or mountainous regions, steep slopes and rocky terrain funnel water into narrow valleys, creating a torrent. Even in deserts, baked, dry soil can repel water like pavement, leading to sudden, violent floods. The force is almost unimaginable. A mere 6 inches of fast-moving water can knock you off your feet. A foot of water can float many vehicles, and 2 feet can sweep away most, including SUVs and trucks. We've all seen the harrowing footage. Cars tossed around like toys, homes ripped from their foundations, and streets submerged under a muddy, debris-filled deluge. The water carries everything with it: trees, boulders, and man-made objects, turning the flood into a destructive battering ram. In a flash flood, your car can quickly become a trap. It's a common and tragic mistake to think you can drive through flooded roads. The water is often deeper and more powerful than it appears. The road beneath could be washed out. Once your vehicle starts to float, you lose all control. That's why the message from emergency services is always the same: turn around. Don't drown. Your life is worth more than any journey. So, how can we protect ourselves from such an unpredictable threat? Awareness is key. Pay attention to weather alerts and know your local area's flood risk. If you live in a low-lying area or near a river or stream, have an evacuation plan ready. This means knowing a safe route to higher ground and having an emergency kit with essentials like water, food, a flashlight, and a first aid kit. During a heavy downpour, stay informed through a weather radio or your phone. If a flash flood warning is issued for your area, act immediately. Don't wait for the water to rise. Your priority is to get to a higher, safer location. Flash floods are a stark reminder of our vulnerability to the forces of nature. While we can't stop the storms, we can learn to respect their power and prepare for their impact. Understanding the risks and knowing what to do can make all the difference when seconds count. Stay safe, stay aware, and look out for one another. Thanks for watching. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more content that helps us understand and navigate our world. See you in the next one. Imagine a wall, a guardian of concrete and steel, standing between your home and a rising river. It's been there for generations, a silent promise of safety. Now, picture that promise shattering. Today, we're exploring the terrifying moment of floodwall breaches. It's not a slow leak, it's a catastrophic failure, a sudden explosive release of immense pressure. The sound is deafening, a roar that drowns out everything else, as tons of water, mud, and debris are unleashed with unimaginable force. What causes such a disaster? Sometimes, it's the sheer volume of water from unprecedented rainfall or rapid snowmelt, pushing against the barrier far beyond its design limits. The pressure finds a weak point to crack, a structural flaw, and exploits it relentlessly. Other times, the foundation itself is compromised. The ground beneath the wall can become saturated, a process called soil liquefaction, turning solid earth into a semi-liquid state that can no longer support the massive weight above it. The wall simply topples over. The aftermath is instantaneous and devastating. A wall of water, sometimes several meters high, surges forward, moving faster than a person can run. It doesn't just flood neighborhoods, it obliterates them. Cars are tossed around like toys, homes are ripped from their foundations, and entire streets vanish beneath a churning, brown tide. This isn't just water. It's a slurry of everything it has picked up along the way, carrying immense destructive power. For the people in its path, there are often only minutes, or even seconds, to react. The chaos is absolute. The force of the water can buckle steel doors and shatter windows. Getting caught in this current is incredibly dangerous. The real threat isn't just drowning, but the debris, trees, building materials, and wreckage all moving at high velocity. Surviving a floodwall breach requires immediate action. The golden rule is to get to higher ground instantly. Don't wait for official warnings if you see or hear the signs. If you're in a multi-story building, go to the highest floor. If you're outside, Climb anything you can: a sturdy tree, the roof of a solid building. Avoid floodwaters at all costs. Just 6 inches of moving water can knock you off your feet, and 2 feet can sweep a vehicle away. Engineers are constantly working to prevent these disasters. They use advanced sensors to monitor water pressure and structural integrity in real time. They reinforce old walls and design new ones with stronger materials and deeper foundations. But as climate change brings more extreme weather, the challenge grows. Many of our flood defenses were built for a climate that no longer exists. This is a powerful reminder of nature's force and the critical importance of respecting it. Always be aware of the risks in your area. Have an emergency plan and heed evacuation orders. Your preparation could be the one thing that stands between you and the unthinkable. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content that helps us understand the world around us. Stay safe out there. Imagine waking up to the gentle sound of rain, a familiar, comforting rhythm. But what happens when that rhythm never stops? When the gentle pitter-patter becomes a deafening roar, and the comforting gray sky turns into an endless weeping threat. Today, we're delving into the story of a deluge so immense, it turned peaceful, idyllic towns into raging oceans, sweeping away homes, memories, and lives in its path. This wasn't just a storm, it was a weather event of biblical proportions, a relentless downpour that lasted for days, not hours. We'll look at the satellite images, the meteorological data, and see how a seemingly normal weather system stalled, gathering terrifying strength. Rivers that had flowed calmly for centuries began to swell, their banks disappearing under the rising tide. It started in the low-lying areas, a quiet creep of water into basements and streets. But soon, it was a torrent. First-hand accounts from survivors paint a harrowing picture. They speak of watching the water rise, not inch by inch, but foot by foot. One moment, they were moving valuables to the second floor. The next, they were scrambling onto their rooftops, watching their entire world submerge. We'll hear the stories of neighbors helping neighbors, forming human chains to pull people from the churning brown water, and the impossible choices they had to make. It's a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit in the face of nature's overwhelming power. The scale of the devastation was unimaginable. Entire communities, places filled with history and generations of families, were erased from the map. Infrastructure crumbled. Bridges, the vital links between communities, were twisted and torn apart by the sheer force of the water. Roads became impassable rivers, and power grids failed, plunging the entire region into darkness and isolation. The aftermath looked like a war zone, but the enemy was the very element that gives us life. As the waters finally began to recede, the true cost became tragically clear. The cleanup was a monumental task, but more than that, it was a process of grieving. What do you do when everything you've ever known is gone, buried under a thick layer of mud and debris? Yet, amidst the heartbreak, seeds of hope were planted. Communities rallied, volunteers from all over the country poured in, and slowly, painstakingly, the long journey of rebuilding began. This event serves as a stark reminder of our vulnerability to extreme weather and the urgent need to understand and adapt to our changing climate. Thank you for joining us on this powerful journey. The stories of these communities deserve to be heard. If you found this documentary moving, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the events that shape our world. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Video opens with dramatic but respectful footage of a large wildfire from a safe distance. The scale is immense, with smoke billowing into the sky. Have you ever seen a forest fire up close? Not just in the news, but the sheer, overwhelming power of it. It's a force of nature that's both terrifying and, in a strange way, awe-inspiring. We're looking at an event that can reshape landscapes in a matter of hours, a wildfire in full fury. What you're seeing isn't just a fire. It's a complex, dynamic event. It starts small, maybe from a lightning strike or a careless human act. But under the right conditions, dry fuel, low humidity, and strong winds, that small spark can explode into a raging inferno, a firestorm that creates its own weather systems. Look at how the flames climb the trees. This is called crowning, where the fire leaps from treetop to treetop, moving at incredible speeds, sometimes faster than a person can run. The sound is a deafening roar, like a jet engine mixed with the crackling of 1 billion campfires. The heat is so intense it can be felt from miles away, and the smoke can travel across entire continents, turning daytime skies into a hazy orange twilight. Each tree, which took decades or even centuries to grow, can be consumed in just a few minutes. It's a sobering reminder of how fragile these ancient ecosystems can be. And it's not just the trees. Every living creature within the fire's path is in a desperate race for survival. It's a primal struggle against an unstoppable force. But here's the fascinating paradox of wildfires. While they bring destruction, they are also a crucial part of nature's cycle of renewal. Many forest ecosystems have evolved with fire. Some pine cones, like those of the jack pine or lodgepole pine, are serotinous, meaning they are sealed shut with resin and only open up to release their seeds under the intense heat of a fire. So, after the flames pass and the smoke clears, a process of rebirth begins. The fire clears out the dense, overgrown underbrush, allowing sunlight to reach the forest floor for the first time in years. This encouraged new growth, creating a more diverse and resilient habitat. The ash left behind enriches the soil with vital nutrients, acting as a natural fertilizer for the seeds that are waiting to sprout. Of course, this natural cycle is being dramatically altered by climate change. We're seeing fires that are hotter, larger, and more frequent than ever before. This is a massive challenge for firefighters, the brave men and women who work on the front lines, risking everything to protect lives, homes, and natural resources. Their work is incredibly dangerous and physically demanding, battling extreme heat and unpredictable conditions for weeks on end. Understanding wildfires is about respecting their immense power while also recognizing their role in the natural world. It's about learning how we can live more safely alongside this powerful force of nature and how we can better manage our forests to prevent the catastrophic megafires that have become all too common. We must support our firefighters and invest in smarter, more sustainable land management practices. The sight of a forest ablaze is a powerful, humbling experience. It reminds us of nature's raw energy and its incredible ability to both destroy and create. It's a stark visual lesson on the delicate balance of our planet's ecosystems. Thank you so much for watching and taking the time to understand this complex topic with me. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the world around us. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Have you ever looked up and seen the sky turn an eerie, unsettling shade of orange or red? It's a surreal experience, almost like stepping onto another planet. But this isn't science fiction. For millions of people around the world, this has become a terrifying new reality. This is the world under the shadow of a wildfire smoke tide. Imagine waking up not to the gentle morning sun, but to a sky choked with thick, black smoke. The day turns into a strange, hazy twilight, and the air you breathe feels heavy, thick, and carries the acrid smell of burning. It stings your eyes, scratches your throat, and makes every breath a conscious effort. This isn't just smoke, it's a burning tide, a colossal wave of ash and particulates sweeping across continents, turning blue skies into a canvas of apocalyptic color. These events are becoming more frequent and more intense. We've seen it in California, Australia, Canada, and even across Europe. A fire that starts hundreds, or even thousands, of miles away can drastically impact your daily life. It blurs the horizon, grounds flights, and forces people indoors. The sun, our familiar source of light and warmth, becomes a pale, red orb, barely visible through the thick blanket of smog. It's a powerful, humbling reminder of nature's force and our planet's interconnectedness. The smoke doesn't respect borders or boundaries. It travels on the wind, a silent, pervasive messenger of the crisis unfolding far away. So, what's actually in this smoke that makes it so dangerous and turns the sky red? It's a complex cocktail of gases and fine particles. These particles, known as PM 2.5, are so tiny 30 times smaller than the width of a human hair that they can bypass our body's natural defenses, get deep into our lungs, and even enter our bloodstream. They are the reason for the burning eyes and scratchy throats, and they pose significant health risks, especially for children, the elderly, and those with respiratory conditions. The reason the sky turns red is a phenomenon called Rayleigh scattering. Normally, the tiny molecules in our atmosphere scatter the shorter blue wavelengths of sunlight more effectively, which is why our sky is blue. But when the air is filled with larger smoke particles, these particles scatter the longer wavelengths, the reds, oranges, and yellows. The more concentrated the smoke, the more the blue light is blocked, and the more the sky shifts towards that dramatic, fiery red. It's a beautiful, yet ominous, display of physics. Living under a smoke-filled sky changes everything. Simple activities like going for a walk, playing outside, or even just opening a window become risky. We are forced to become amateur meteorologists, constantly checking air quality indexes and satellite maps, planning our lives around the ebb and flow of this toxic tide. It's a siege, not of armies, but of air. It's a profound psychological weight, a constant visible reminder of environmental imbalance. The loss of a clear blue sky is more than just an aesthetic loss. It feels like a loss of normalcy, of safety. What can we do? On a personal level, when smoke is heavy, stay indoors. Use air purifiers with HEPA filters, and wear N95 or P100 masks if you must go outside. But these are just coping mechanisms. The larger solution requires collective action. It means supporting better forest management practices, investing in renewable energy to combat climate change, and holding our leaders accountable for creating policies that protect our planet. These smoke tides are a clear signal that we need to rethink our relationship with the environment. The red skies are a wake-up call, written across the heavens for all to see. They are a plea from our planet. Let's not just watch in awe or fear. Let's turn that feeling into action. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay safe out there. Have you ever wondered what it's like when the very ground beneath your feet decides to move? We're not talking about a little rumble. We're talking about the immense or inspiring power of an earthquake, where the planet itself shows its incredible force. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the moments the Earth splits open. Imagine this. You're driving down a perfectly normal road, and suddenly, it's not normal anymore. Cracks start to spiderweb across the asphalt, growing wider and deeper with each terrifying second. What was once a solid surface begins to look like a broken mirror, with massive sections of pavement shifting and buckling. This isn't a special effect from a disaster movie. This is the raw, untamed power of tectonic plates grinding against each other, releasing energy that can tear landscapes apart. We see roads ripped in two, creating chasms that weren't there moments before, instantly making them impassable and isolating entire communities. Now, lift your eyes from the ground to the skyline. Buildings designed to stand tall and strong begin to sway. At first it might be a gentle rocking, but as the seismic waves intensify, that sway can become a violent, terrifying dance. Windows rattle, structures groan under the strain, and in the most intense quakes, even modern earthquake-resistant skyscrapers can be seen moving back and forth against the sky. It's a surreal sight that demonstrates the incredible engineering designed to keep them standing, but also highlights the immense forces they are battling. The ground is literally moving beneath their foundations, and they have no choice but to move with it. It's in these moments that we witness the Earth's raw power revealed. Forget what you think you know about solid ground. During a major earthquake, the ground can behave like a liquid in a process called liquefaction. Solid soil saturated with water loses its strength and stiffness, turning into a slurry that can no longer support the weight of buildings, roads, or bridges. Structures can tilt, sink, or even collapse as their foundations give way. You can see the ground ripple, almost like waves on an ocean. a truly mind-bending phenomenon that showcases the planet's dynamic and sometimes volatile nature. These events are a powerful reminder of the forces constantly at work beneath our feet. The Earth's crust is a mosaic of massive plates, always in slow, constant motion. When the stress along their boundaries becomes too great, it's released in a sudden, violent burst of energy that radiates outwards as seismic waves. What we experience as a few seconds or minutes of shaking is the culmination of years, sometimes centuries, of geological pressure building up deep within the planet. The cracked earth and swaying buildings are the surface level, symptoms of a colossal geological drama unfolding miles below. While these images of destruction are shocking, they also drive incredible innovation in science and engineering. Seismologists study these events to better understand and predict them, while engineers develop new materials and construction techniques to build structures that can withstand such immense forces. Every earthquake, while devastating, provides invaluable data that helps us create safer communities for the future. From base isolation systems that allow buildings to float above the ground, shaking to early warning systems that can provide crucial seconds to take cover, humanity is constantly learning to adapt and coexist with our planet's powerful rhythms. The goal is not to stop the Earth from moving, but to build a world that can move with it. Thank you so much for joining us on this look into the sheer force of earthquakes. It's a humbling reminder of nature's power. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into our amazing world. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video. Have you ever stood at the base of a skyscraper, looked up, and felt a sense of awe? These steel and glass giants seem invincible, like modern-day mountains piercing the clouds. But what happens when the very ground they're built on turns into a violent rolling sea? What happens when an earthquake strikes? Today, we're diving into the heart-stopping science of how skyscrapers face off against the immense power of an earthquake. It's a battle between human ingenuity and one of nature's most destructive forces. First, let's understand the enemy. An earthquake isn't just a simple shake. It sends out seismic waves, east waves, and surface waves that move the ground in complex ways, up and down, side to side, and in a rolling motion. For a massive, rigid structure like a skyscraper, this is the ultimate test. Imagine you're holding a long, flexible ruler by one end and shaking it. The top of the ruler whips back and forth much more dramatically than your hand. This is essentially what happens to a skyscraper. The ground motion is amplified as it travels up the building, causing the top floors to sway violently. This phenomenon is called resonance. If the frequency of the earthquake's waves matches the natural frequency of the building's sway, the movement can become so extreme that the structure fails. Early skyscrapers were built with rigid frames, which made them strong against gravity and wind, but brittle against the twisting, shearing forces of an earthquake. When the ground shook, the stress would concentrate at the joints, and without the ability to flex, they would crack and crumble. We saw tragic examples of this in the past, where buildings that seemed indestructible were reduced to rubble in minutes. But engineers are brilliant problem solvers. They realized that to survive an earthquake, a skyscraper can't just be strong. It has to be smart and flexible. This led to a revolution in architectural design. Modern skyscrapers in earthquake-prone zones are marvels of engineering. One key innovation is the base isolation system. Picture the entire skyscraper sitting on a set of high-tech roller skates or flexible pads made of rubber and steel. When the ground shakes, these isolators absorb most of the motion, allowing the ground to move underneath the building while the structure itself remains relatively still. It's like a car's suspension smoothing out a bumpy road. Another incredible technology is the tuned mass damper. This is essentially a giant, heavy pendulum often, weighing hundreds of tons located near the top of the skyscraper. The most famous example is the one inside Taipei 101. When the building starts to sway in one direction, this massive weight, controlled by hydraulic systems, swings in the opposite direction. It acts as a counterbalance, absorbing the vibrational energy and stabilizing the entire structure. It's like having a built-in shock absorber for the whole building. Engineers also design buildings with ductility. This means the structural elements, like steel beams and columns, are designed to bend and deform without breaking. They can absorb a huge amount of seismic energy, much like a paper clip can be bent back and forth many times before it snaps. This controlled deformation prevents a catastrophic, sudden collapse, giving people inside precious time to evacuate. The materials themselves have evolved too. We now have high-performance, concrete, and advanced steel alloys that are both stronger and more flexible than their predecessors. Every connection, Every beam and every foundation is meticulously calculated to withstand specific seismic loads. So, when the ground shakes, these modern giants don't just stand there and take the hit. They dance, they sway, they flex, and they use their built-in systems to dissipate the earthquake's energy. It's a carefully choreographed performance where the building works with the forces of nature rather than fighting against them. The battle between skyscrapers and earthquakes is a constant race. As we build taller and more ambitious structures, engineers and scientists continue to develop even more sophisticated ways to protect them. From a foundation that floats to a core that flexes, every skyscraper in a seismic zone is a testament to our ability to learn from the past and build a safer future. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into seismic engineering. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content about the incredible world we've built. Stay curious and stay safe.